Outside on the streets, the people were finishing their last-minute shop. Homeward bound like shoals of present-bearing salmon. A snapshot of activity might have suggested that the mood of this year's collective conscience in Dublin was one of joy, but in the Palace Bar, Charlie was painting a very different picture altogether. And sitting on his stool, drinking pints of remorse and bending the ear off Leo, Charlie swam as far away from the shoal as he could possibly get. She actually screamed down the road after me, saying that this time I'd taken out my own heart and that I might as well piss off and live in the bar with all the other fallen angels, if I wasn't going to play ball, he said, hoping that Leo, his friend of 40 years, the man who'd guarded his stool on all occasions, would remain loyal in the latest dispute. Play ball, Leo. I mean, this is the same woman who only today rewarded herself for single-handedly buying up half of Arnott's by giving herself a gift of a trip to the Reiki Centre. The fucking Reiki Centre. Apparently she had a session there, whatever the hell that is, reduced from €300 to 235, a special festive rate, apparently, €65 less than usual, a real treat. And she deserved it, because it had been such a busy year, and sometimes she needs to give herself a little something. As if we'd won the bloody lotto. But to really top it off, Leo, she actually said that nothing has ever felt as pleasurable as the feeling of the hot stones on her solar plexus. Leo tried to look empathetic, but his imagination ran him out onto O'Connell Street, hired him a Santa suit, and armed him with a giant erection to bring home to his wife, making him instantly comfortable in the knowledge that she would have been delighted with that. I mean, it was insane, Leo. She'd all the merchandise displayed on the floor like a kid at Halloween and was tour guiding me past items that she'd bought and that we can't afford. In my own living room, funky new cashmere jumpers, about 200,000 stained glass decorations, a load of unique handmade wooden egg cups, and 2 stupid-looking woolly elves that go on the mantelpiece, which is bloody dangerous if you ask me. Christ, Leo, there was so much crap there it was scary. I felt like I was on a game show, but I bit my tongue, Leo. I bit my tongue. Brevity was not one of Charlie's strong points, however, and experience had shown Leo that if this man would protest too much, there was usually more to come. He also knew that tongue-biting was not part of Charlie's skill set, and he remembered the many occasions where Charlie had nearly gotten the two of them killed. Leo didn't get Charlie. He never really had. Leo loved people, particularly people who gratified his imagination and people who delighted in sharing new information. And he really loved his wife, and he liked to communicate with her for pleasurable purposes, mainly. Okay, he would protest every now and again that some of his basic human rights had been taken away over the years, like the freedom to choose his own trousers, but he loved her, and he knew how to show it. And he had the instinct and the emotional intelligence to know when to wave the white flag and come out of the trenches. But here he was again, nodding intermittently while looking for a clear room in his mind to sit down with a little earworm, maybe from Randy Travis, to help block out his friend's psychological noise. A room with a window from where he could fling Charlie's broken record and contemplate some unexplored themes, like the concept of nothingness or the absence of being. A room with a window that he did find, and where he did sit, watching his friend shadow box with himself through aggressive mires of one-way conversations for the next 9 minutes, until 23 minutes past 6. Because at 23 minutes past 6, the head of operations in Charlie's brain sent a message to his heart to beat 4 more times and call it a day. It had accepted that it would never be able to deliver the correct transmissions around the limbic section, and that it was unlikely that any positive signal would ever be recognized, deciphered, or understood properly at this stage. And despite millions of years of evolution and the promise that all human brains would have additional powers to use their senses more beneficially, Charlie's brain was out of order. It had lost all ability to let Charlie feel any joy, remorse, or even sorrow. But as Charlie's heart gave one last beat, and as his guts and muscles slumped him off his stool, flinging him to the floor, he reached out to grab Leo's arm, and looking at him, in earnest, very calmly said, "Tell Doris I love her, and tell her I'm sorry for telling her to shove the artisan mince pie up her arse."